Hey, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. This is the channel where I try to give a older rider's perspective on things, life, motorcycles, travel. At my favorite coffee shop. It's got a little snack. Anyway, I got to thinking. You know, I get a lot of trolls on my channel. And a lot of them just want to label themselves, which I find ridiculous. Any label you put on yourself is ridiculous. But a lot of these guys are saying, you're not a real biker. You're just a guy with a motorcycle. Well, duh. 99% of the free world seems to think that they're bikers in one sense of the word. Except for this little tiny group of Harley bikers. I guess there's some kind of image. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not even sure what they mean by you're not a biker. I'm glad I'm not. But I get guys that say, well, what do you know about being a biker? You're in a gated community. As if you have some money, or you've made something of yourself in your life that somehow disqualifies you from being a biker. Which is about the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You know, everyone's got their own idea of what a biker is, but these guys, they get offended if you try to join their club. And of course I'm not. I would never put a label on myself. So now they have to live up to everything they do now. Must be biker stuff. How limiting is that? I don't get it. You know, I met a lot of people. I went to Sturgis countless times, and there's a little coffee shop up there, and that's how I meet a lot of people. Guys who aren't drinking beer. They're there, just having a cup of coffee, looking at the street. But that's where I get to meet, I don't know, my kind of people. I used to get in conversations with farmers and, you know, ranchers, everyday people that have ridden their whole lives. I had a conversation with a couple of guys, and one guy comes there every year. And you look at him and think, well, there's a biker. And we got to talking. He's a pilot. He didn't label himself as a pilot. But, yeah, he rides. I know, I've met Jared Weems a few times. He rides a Triumph. He also works on classic Triumphs. And he's built some great machines. One of his bikes, I think, is in the Peterson Museum right now. He's one of those guys who is extraordinary. And I think he's out in California doing some show right now. He likes to work on early 50s. Some noise back there. Hold on a second. Oh, he's early morning work going on. I should know better. Anyway, he's just finished a bike called the Judge. Triumph 650 from the early days of bikers in California. It's a famous bike. A lot of these Harley guys don't realize the whole lifestyle didn't start with Harleys. It started with Triumphs. Triumph 650s were the bike. They set the land speed records. It was what everyone rode. And these Harley guys don't even know that. So they want to own that title. I don't see the purpose of putting myself in a label prison, having to live up to it. Because I do all kinds of stuff that are non-biker. Like riding at dawn, going out to my favorite place in the preserve. To me, there's nothing better than getting up and riding at dawn. And I'm not seeing it from a drunken haze from the other side. I'm getting up at 4:30. Which to me was my way of freedom in my mind. I don't need to go bar hopping with friends or hang out at biker rallies. And I've been to a few, but that's kind of not my thing, really. But I don't have to live up to anything. You know, I've spent my life going around the world for my job, and I never put a label on myself then. I just think it's kind of stupid. They're missing out. They're missing out on life. I learned that a long time ago. You know, I'm not a biker. I've been in, 13 years in a motorcycle club, ridden everywhere, been to Sturgis more times than count. And I guess I just don't qualify.